Hi everyone, in this video we're going to look at all of Maybelline's newly released makeup items. So that includes 3 eyeshadow and face palettes, 2 new holographic highlighters, a set of 5 new matte lipstick shades, and it also includes their whole range of new Superstay Matte Ink lip products, but I am going to do that in its own separate video, a dedicated video with swatches and lip swatches also. And I will also, in an upcoming video, wear and test out and tell you about the new formulated Superstay foundation from Maybelline, because it seems that they have re-released that product. So in this video, we're going to swatch the 3 palettes that you see in front of here, the 2 new holographic highlighters, and the 5 new matte lipstick shades. And in its own separate video, you will get all of the new Superstay Matte Ink colors swatched for you. And in the upcoming What's New in Beauty video, you will get to see what the Superstay foundation looks like on my skin and my thoughts on the formula. Oh, I almost forgot. I will also do a dedicated video for the new Python metallic lip kits. They're very, I think, unusual for Maybelline to have released, but they are duos where you have a lip color and then a metallic powder that goes on top. I will do also a dedicated separate video for just those shades in that new line. Alright, so here's a little sneak peek at those 2 upcoming videos from Maybelline. I also have all of the new L'Oreal products. There are a whole bunch of those also, so there's lots of drugstore videos coming up. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on those videos. And for now, let's get looking at these new Maybelline products. You can get this collection through Ulta, and some of the items are Ulta online exclusives, so I put a link in the description box as always to where you can find these, as well as links to the website where I will have full reviews after I've tested all these products, and where you can see photos of the swatches and of the lip products applied to the lips. Alright, so let's first look at the 2 new highlighters. These are the Face Studio Master Holographic Prismatic Highlighters, and they retail for $9.99 each. So unfortunately these don't have names, but this is the shade number 50. And this is the shade 100, and apparently this shade is an online only shade through Ulta. Alright, so with an angled powder brush, I'm swatching shade 50 first. As soon as I put my brush to the skin, the chunks of glitter are really apparent. It's not very refined. I'm going to build this up with another layer. Alright, here is layer number 2 of shade 50. So you do get flashes of silver and pink mostly, but the shimmer particles are just too large. Alright, and then shade 100. It's kind of the same thing in terms of the larger shimmer particles. Applying a second layer here. This one has more of a purple flash to it. But the predominant colors again are purplish pink and silver. Okay, and here is what those highlighters look like up close. As you can see, there are larger chunks of glitter there. Doesn't look very refined on the skin. Alright, to see what we can get out of these, I will swatch these with my fingers. Before I do that, I just want you to see, look at the chunkiness of that formula. I really don't see in any situation how that would look flattering on the cheeks, but let's go ahead and swatch them this way. See, I think that really, perhaps these are best suited as like eyelid shimmer toppers. Alright, and that's what the formula looks like up close when pressed and swatched with the fingers. Alright, let's move on to the eyeshadow and face palettes. The first one here is the Total Temptation eyeshadow and highlight palette. This retails for $11.99. So here's what you get inside the palette. You have 8 eyeshadow shades and 2 highlighters. Here are the highlights up close. I will swatch those first, and then I will move on to the eyeshadows, swatching this column from top to bottom, and then the right side column from top to bottom. Alright, so here's the first highlighter or illuminating shade. It's a soft shimmering gold. Here's a second layer applied. And then next to that is the frosty lilac shade. So second layer applied. This one has some larger silver specks of glitter. They don't seem to adhere that tightly to the skin though. Okay, so that's what 2 layers looks like up close. These aren't super strong and the formula for the gold shade seems to be superior. Next to them I will do finger swatches so you can see more intensely. Here's what those look like up close. Alright, now for the left column of eyeshadows, we start with this nudie shimmering champagne. And that is followed by a satin finish soft pinky peach. Next up is a matte mauvey pink, and then a satin finish, or maybe it's matte soft cool toned nudie brown. And on the right side of eyeshadows we have a very pale matte dusty pink. Next is a very metallic silvered gray lilac. This has pretty large silver glitter particles. And that is followed by a matte dusty lilac. And we finish with a matte charcoal. It's a soft black. Alright, so there are the 8 eyeshadow shades from the Temptations palette. Alright, then we have 2 palettes from the City Kits line. These are all-in-one eye and cheek palettes. On the left you have the Urban Light palette, and on the right you have the Pink Edge palette, and these retail for $11.99 each. Here's the Urban Light palette. Very interesting how the pans go flush with the rest of the packaging. I will swatch these 2 cheek shades on the left here, and then I'll go left to right by row for the eyeshadows. And of course I will do the same for the Pink Edge palette, starting with the blush and highlight on the left side, and moving on to the eyeshadows. Alright, the blush from the Urban Light palette. This is so powdery. This is a very beautiful color though. It is a golden pink, so it's a pink at the base with a golden flash. Very reminiscent of Nars's Orgasm. Building up a little bit for a second layer, you don't really need it. And then the gold, very pale gold highlight right next to it. It's a little strange because this highlighting pan is slightly narrower than the blush pan. Makes it hard to keep your blush or your brush in this one pan and not spill over into the blush pan, especially since the product goes right up flush to the rest of the packaging. I'm again adding a little more product. It's weird because as you blend this into the skin, it gets less shimmery. So this is almost like a shimmerless highlighting shade. So here are the 2 cheek shades applied with a brush. The shimmer stays more on with the blush color than it does with the highlighting shade. There are golden specks in there, but they kind of come off the skin as you blend it. Alright, and for finger swatches of these 2 shades, what those look like up close. For the eyeshadows, we start out with a shimmering pink. Next we have another shimmering pink. It's a little paler and more golden in the flash, whereas the first one has more of a pinky purple flash. Next to that we have a shimmering buttercream. Next to that we have a metallic seafoam green. That is followed by a metallic frosty white with a silver and pink flash. Has a bit of larger chunks to that. And then we have another metallic shade, but this one flashes green and blue. That is followed by a beautiful metallic fuchsia. And we finish with a metallic steel silvered gray. Alright, there you have the 8 eyeshadow shades from the Urban Light palette. Alright, with the Pink Edge palette, we start with a swatch of the blush, which looks like a natural matte, slightly mauvey pink. This is a beautiful color, very wearable. It is almost matte, but has slight sheen to the finish. Again, you really don't need it, but I will add a second layer to show you how it builds up. Definitely a satin matte finish. And then the highlighter. This is a shimmering pale champagne. Actually, I didn't like how that went on at the very beginning, but as you blend it in, that more chunky shimmer goes away, and you're left with something very refined and actually very subtle. Okay, so there are the 2 cheek shades applied with a brush up close. 2 shades applied in finger swatches, and that's what those look like up close. For the eyeshadows, we start with a matte cream. Second is a shimmering nude peach. Third is a metallic bronzy or golden bronze. Fourth is a matte taupe. Next is a satin finish dusty plum. Next is a metallic paler taupe. It's followed by a matte, very warm toned purplish brown. And last is a matte soft black. Alright, here are your 8 shades from the Pink Edge palette. The application of these is far superior to the other 2 palettes. I think this is definitely the best palette out of the 3 that Maybelline has released. And last up for this video are Maybelline's 5 new Color Sensational Powder Matte Lipsticks. These retail for $7.49 on Ulta's website. And the company says these are available with up to 2 times more mattifying powders than the Color Sensational Creamy Matte Lipstick. So first up is the shade Cruel Ruby. Second is Nocturnal Rose. Third is Carnal Brown. Fourth is Concrete Jungle. And fifth is Smoky Jade. Alright, so first up is Cruel Ruby, which is actually kind of like a strawberry toned red. Nocturnal Rose is a standard rosy pink. Carnal Brown is a medium grayish brown. Concrete Jungle is a slightly purplish toned gray, and Smoky Jade is a gray toned jade. Alright, there are your 5 new super matte shades from Maybelline. I will let you know in the upcoming What's New in Beauty video how this formula wears and feels on the lips. Alright, so there are a bunch of new products from Maybelline. I have to say I am not loving most of what's been released. I'm not sure about the matte lipsticks yet because I don't know what they feel like yet on the lips. I will test them out and write a full review for you as always. The eyeshadow palettes, I think the only one really worth looking into is the Pink Edge palette. That seemed to have a formula across the board that applied well onto the skin, but I will say that both of the palettes, the City Kits palettes, had super powdery formulas so that when you put the brush in the pan it kicks up a lot of the powder. Despite that, the Pink Edge one applied very nicely. I was not as impressed with the Urban Light one. And then when it came to the Total Temptation palette, I just was not impressed by the application of that formula. The shades are again very powdery and don't seem to have a lot of integrity when applied to the skin. The holographic highlighters are a super big disappointment when it comes to actual highlighters for the face, but they seem to have a lot of potential for application on the eyelids. So I will test that out and again let you know in the new What's New in Beauty video. All right, let me know in the comment section below what you think. I am very excited to try out the Superstay Matte Ink line. I think that I'm crossing my fingers to be impressed about those, and then I'm quite intrigued by the Python Metallic Lip Kits. So all that is upcoming. There's a ton of new L'Oreal lip products and a ton of new face products. So I'm going to do a little bit something different with the L'Oreal face products. I'm going to actually apply them in a video and do more of a face on type of video where you will see me and see the products applied to my face instead of the more traditional type of swatch video. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you as always for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next one.